Hello, are we still on mute? Can you hear us? We hope you hear everyone who is here. Hello, good morning, everyone in the US, and good evening from Nairobi to our fellow Africans.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to you, and thank you also for sparing your time to listen to us. In the next 45 minutes, we will share our experiences as survivor advocates. We want to encourage other survivors to join us and take actions. Also, based on our own experiences, we will give recommendations what organizations, other institutions, and donors can do in order to enable more survivors to become active in the movement. We hope you will find our contribution interesting, and we can all join hands to make our efforts to fight human trafficking more inclusive and effective. Thank you for joining us for this session. Now let's get started. Allow us to introduce ourselves.
Hello, I'm Catherine Muturi.
Hi there, I'm Brenda Oduyambo.
Hello, I'm Margaret.
Hello, I'm Masinjero.
Hello, I'm Purity Mbogo.
Hello, I'm Evelyn John.
We are 6 survivors of human trafficking from Kenya. We have decided to take action against human trafficking. In our understanding, this makes us survivor advocates. Many victims of survival of human trafficking are not able to speak in public or even speak about the experience at all. As a survivor advocate, we speak on behalf of the fellow victim and other survivors who cannot do themselves. In this group, all of us are survivors of human trafficking, and we choose to call ourselves survivor advocates.
We want to fight human trafficking and stand up against traffickers. We are here to represent fellow victims and other survivors of human trafficking. We are working to create awareness to teach people about the dangers of human trafficking. We want to teach victims of human trafficking how to thrive in their lives. We want to meet other survivors and exchange ideas. We hope to encourage other survivors to actively join the movement. We definitely want to see more survivor-led organizations in the future, and we need support in funding, in other words, money to create more impact.
Oh yes, I think we have internet issues.
Yes, are we still on?
Internet
Net inasumbua.
Yes, it is all pre-recorded session.
Hi, so why don't we just go out?
Yes, let's go out.
Let's go out.
My name is Purity Mbogo. I'm a survivor advocate, facilitator, and activist of human rights. As a facilitator, I normally go for workshops whereby I go and educate people in community, schools, and churches. I normally meet people and create awareness on human trafficking and also their rights. The most favorite part of it is where I mingle with kids. I normally create awareness to them about human trafficking because they are the most vulnerable to human trafficking, and also teach them about their rights as kids. And here with me is Abel, who will tell us more about Heart Kenya and what it does.
Thank you, Purity, for inviting me over. It's such a great relief to be able to participate in the fight against human trafficking. So today I just want to introduce Heart Kenya. Heart Kenya in full is awareness against human trafficking, and what we do is we fight human trafficking in East Africa. We are based in Nairobi, but we do, however, work around the world. We work in 4 ways, and this is we call it the 4 Ps by the UN. And the 4 Ps each stand for different Ps. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is prevention. I myself happen to be in the prevention team. And what we do in prevention is essentially do workshops and raise awareness about human trafficking in different communities in Nairobi and also outside of Nairobi, as well as some parts of East Africa. We also are in charge of managing the helpline, which is a number that is solely dedicated to assisting people that have cases that they'd like to refer, or anyone who'd like information about traveling, or anyone who has any case that they'd like to refer to Heart Kenya. So we manage the line and we're able to refer most of the cases that we have, and this is only after we've been able to ascertain that the case is a case of human trafficking. After then is when we now refer that case to our protection team. All right, so let's talk about the protection team. The protection team is comprised of caseworkers who are the people that specifically handle survivors of human trafficking. They offer support such as basic needs and psychosocial support, and they're also the first point of contact with survivors of human trafficking. Also in the protection team, we do have an emergency shelter. This is a shelter that is solely dedicated to assisting women and girls of human trafficking. So we provide immediate support by housing, and then we're also able to see them through the process of recovery. We also do offer economic empowerment to survivors of human trafficking. This helps to reduce the risk of re-trafficking so that they're not re-trafficked again. Let's also talk about the partnerships and collaboration team. We also have an office that handles specifically partnerships with other organizations and as well as government organizations or other offices that do help to help in the fight of human trafficking. We also have the prosecution team, which is a team of lawyers who are dedicated to prosecuting cases of human trafficking and seeing them through in court, making sure that survivors of human trafficking are able to receive the justice that they deserve. In a nutshell, that is the work that Heart does. I would like to specifically give a big shout out to Purity and the Survivor Advocates team behind me for allowing me to be able to be part of this process and helping us to push the Leave No One Behind agenda and helping to end human trafficking in East Africa. The Survivor Advocates do play a big role in this fight, and so it's very, very important that we all join hands together in fighting human trafficking in Kenya, East Africa, and eventually the world. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you to the Survivor Advocates.
Thank you so much, Abel, for telling us more about Heart Kenya. We appreciate for your time. Thank you very much. In 2022 and 2023, we did a lot of activities, and here are some of them.
Hello, I am Masinjero. I'm a survivor advocate. In July, we participated in a national event, World Day Against Human Trafficking. I was the keynote speaker of the event, and I was able to meet the Kenyan Cabinet Secretary of Ministry of Labor and Social Protection. The event enabled me to build more confidence in myself and what I can do, something that made me become more proud of myself.
Hi everyone, my name is Brenda Odhiambo. I'm a survivor advocate and a research consultant at Heart Kenya. I was trained by Heart Kenya and Free the Slaves in the research work. And in this research, we were trying to see how survivors have been engaged beyond service provision and their inclusion in the movement. My work as a research consultant, I was interviewing survivors of human trafficking and seeing how they're being engaged in their organization and how they're actively participating in the movement too. So what I loved the most is in the work that I did, I saw that many survivors have been engaged in the organization, and the most thing that I liked is that I met survivors from East and Central Africa, and we engaged in a conference at Kigali, Rwanda. We met and we exchanged ideas with the survivors, and I saw how they're actively participating in the movement. And I was so glad about the idea on making us meet together with other survivors.
My name is Evelyn Adhiambo John. I'm a survivor advocate. During this year, I went to several churches in Kibera. Kibera is a very big slum in Nairobi. I went to teach about human trafficking and how to safe migrate. After church, I met several people who doesn't know about human trafficking, so that we talk more about human trafficking. And from there, I was invited to some other churches to create more awareness about human trafficking.
Okay, I'm Margaret Njoroge, a survivor advocate. During this year campaign, I went to media station to speak about human trafficking, to create more awareness in public, also to encourage other survivors to speak out and not to stay with their trauma inside, and to encourage them to go for counseling. And before, it was my first time experience on a TV, but afterwards I gained more courage to speak in public.
I'm Catherine Muturi, survivor advocate at Hak Kenya. I took part in photo exhibition. It's a project to raise awareness against human trafficking. The photo exhibition can be shown in public so that people they can learn what is human trafficking. I enjoy being part of the photo exhibition so that I can show people, even if I was trafficked, that is not the end of the story. You can still make it in life and be happy.
How we became survivor advocate, actually this happened in different steps and phases. Sadly, allow me to share them with you. Sadly, we all experience human trafficking. As survivor advocates, what we do and the expertise that we have is all based on the experience we lived. We survived, so obviously the next step is that we were rescued or we escaped. We also got support from an NGO organization that is Hak Kenya that helped us through the healing process. Through them, we received free therapy. The decision to accept therapy was difficult for most of us, but later on turned to be a good one. Hart also took care of our basic needs. They paid school fees for our kids. They also paid our rent to make sure that we are in a safe space to concentrate on healing. They also, we were also enrolled into education, and we also received economic empowerment that enabled us to start our own businesses. To be financially stable it's a key factor to avoid the trafficking. We were also able to settle in our business. We also settled in our businesses, and that is when Hart reached out to us if we are ready to join their new program for survivor leadership program.
As individuals, some of us have been actively participating even before engaging with the organization. Like, as for me, I went and have an interview with a journalist about my personal experience. I even didn't knew that I passed through human trafficking. The word human trafficking, yes, I passed through human trafficking, but I never knew that it was human trafficking. But I participated with the journalist so that I can teach people about safe migration and warn people and family on not to go to abroad either before knowing the safe migration and everything that they have to do, the do and the don'ts before traveling. We were teaching people on safe migration because we never wanted people to go through on what we went through as what we went through in abroad and face human trafficking. When Heart Kenya invited us for the first meeting, we were around 20 survivors, and we agreed to start a leadership program, and afterwards only six of us attended the meeting. And here are my fellow survivors. They talked about what motivates them is meeting other survivors, learning more about human trafficking, passion to speak to people about human trafficking, trusting the organization and its staff, learning more to reduce human trafficking in Kenya. Also, we discussed about starting trainings, and this is what we wanted to be trained about. Learning about human trafficking, workshop facilitation, speaking in public media engagement, workshop facilitation, and security. We were happy to learn about it, but doing it in practice was more better.
Based on our experience, we want to share some observations. If you are a survivor of human trafficking and you want to be active, this is for you. Mental stability is everything. You cannot do this if you are still very unstable. For most of us, a combination of time and therapy help us. Please consider going to therapy if you have a chance. Second, economic stability. You need to be able to make a living that sustains yourself and your family. Only when you have livelihood, you can make space for other activities. If you team up with an organization, demand for compensation, travel allowance, enable movement, but in addition to that, your time and your knowledge should be acknowledged. Although many journalists and organizations expect this, you do not have to share your personal experience. Only share your personal story if you want to do it. You can be a survivor advocate without sharing your experience of trafficking. When you start becoming a survivor advocate, make sure that you have access to a psychological support. The way of healing is not always straightforward, and it is good to have a person you can turn to.
Based on our observations so far, we have observed some factors that might help organizations who want to include more survivors. These are our learnings from last year. Listen to us. Listen to what we want to do, how we want to do it, and how you can support the survivors you want to include. Adequate remuneration for survivor advocates, time and expertise. Fast travel allowance. Alignment of engagement to staff with volunteer, survivors advocate. Networking opportunities with other survivors boost motivation, learning, encouragement, and resilience. Psychological support option. Dealing with trauma is not linear. Consider group dynamics. Enhance individual growth.
As I said, I'm a survivor advocate. What I like most being a survivor advocate is that I can be able to come out publicly and share my story and my experiences on behalf of my fellow victims and survivors who cannot be able to speak on their behalf.
I love being a survivor advocate because I can create awareness of human trafficking in the village, churches, schools, and also I love to share my experience to those who doesn't know about human trafficking.
What I like about being a survivor advocate is to bring more survivors into the movement to fight against human trafficking. I also like to make survivors know that whatever happened and we cannot change it. We just have to accept it and move on with our lives.
What inspires me to be a survivor advocate is that the inner passion that I have to reach every victim of human trafficking and save other people's lives so that they cannot be affected with the human trafficking. That's what I really love, and I want to do it more and more in my lifetime.
What makes me to be a survivor advocate is to motivate people that have been trafficked or have been go through experience same as me, and to make the other people that they have not yet ready go to Gulf countries or wherever the other countries, they can get experience before they travel.
As we come to the end, let's wrap up with our recommendation. We have a short list of recommendations for my fellow survivors, organizations that want to include more survivors, academic institutions, and donors. These are our recommendations for our fellow survivors. Give yourselves time to accept that you have experienced human trafficking and you have survived. Accept the healing process. Accept professional counseling. Do not bury the trauma inside of you. Open up to people you trust. And then join the anti-trafficking movement. Be active. Reach out to and engage with other survivors. Remember, you can, but you do not need to share your personal experience to be a survivor advocate. These are our recommendations to organizations that want to include more survivors in their work. Acknowledge survivor advocates' unique contributions in efforts to end human trafficking. Remunerate them adequately for their expertise, time, and activity. Create more employment opportunities for survivor advocates in the anti-trafficking spaces. Recruit survivor advocates for positions in public, government, and non-governmental organizations. Create and support education opportunities for survivor advocates to qualify for decision-making professional positions in the anti-trafficking sphere.
Do research on human trafficking. Create network opportunities like this international conference on human trafficking and social justice. Have a budget for compensation for presenters with lived experience in their fields.
Uphold funding for direct assistance of survivors and awareness raising. Uphold funding for safe spaces, free therapy, and economic empowerment. In addition, please consider more funding for survivor networks and institutions, scholarship for survivors of human trafficking, including scholarship that enable survivors to take leading professional position in the anti-trafficking movement. We wish to thank all donors who are already funding any activities for or with survivors of human trafficking. You are doing a great job. Asante sana.
We also thank the organizer of the conference, the International Conference on Human Trafficking and Social Justice, for opening the space and giving us the opportunity. We thank Heart Kenya for the financial support and preparation. We also thank Heart Kenya once again for bringing us as a group. You have supported us fully from being a survivor to survivor advocate. And also for you, our audience, we are so happy, we are so glad at least you took your time to listen to us. We are so glad for you. God bless you. And if you want to add this thing called human trafficking, just join us. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. God bless you.
We are proud to be survivor advocates. Yay!